Sounds so good, don't you agree? You listen to C Flips, He Flips. I'm Curtis R. Monday.
And I'm EJ Williams.
Give us a call at 312-374-8130. That's 312-374-8130. Or follow us on Facebook Live, Curtis R. Monday. I'm pretty sure EJ have hers up. Hey, it's E Jizzle in the house.
That never gets old.
That's right. Hey, you don't know how happy I am to be able to spend some time and partner with EJ Williams. I want to say publicly, she's a dynamo in respect to real estate. Got a family in the house. I want to say what's up to the whole EJ clan, husband and daughter. I like to see black families together doing their thing. God bless y'all, brother. EJ, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good this morning. How you feeling, Curtis?
I'm all good. This show is called C Flips, He Flips. The show has a couple of different purposes. One, to create an inspirational blueprint for those interested in real estate. Two, to create generational wealth for our community. And three, to be a source of education, to provide resources. We want to teach you how to, in fact, fish. EJ, with this show, I know people may have some conceptions about it, some preconceived notions. Who would be, in your opinion, who can benefit from some of the things we're going to talk about on C Flips, He Flips?
Well, we want to reach out and impact people who are looking to be a homeowner, investor, whether or not you're new or already experienced, you want to scale up your business. You know, I think that's everybody.
Sure.
Yeah, everyone needs a place to live, right?
Sure.
So, yeah, real estate reaches everyone, I think.
Now, when we talk about C Flips, He Flips, you know, real estate is the primary asset that we're utilizing. For those who may not be familiar with you, even maybe not familiar with me, a little bit about your background. How did you get here?
How did I get here? Well, actually, the year Jason and I got married, we would come home and start watching HGTV, right? And this is when the hype of all the flipping shows was really starting, and we just had this crazy idea that we can do it.
Right.
So we did a little research, found the right lender, and found a house over in the Grand Crossing area, and actually reached out to some friends who were already flipping, walked their projects, got some nuggets from them. And then we just did it. Right.
Now, if memory serves you correctly, it was a change in corporate America that really was the catalyst for you jumping off into the deep.
Well, actually, we started flipping part-time. We were both in the biotech and pharmaceutical industry. And so we were doing it on the side. We had flexibility in order to do that. And then in 2009, my husband was laid off. And then 6 months later, I was laid off.
Okay.
So things got really real, really fast. And we said, you know what? We've been doing this for 3 years. We always said we wanted to do it full time. Let's take a chance. Let's bet on ourselves. And the rest is history 10 years later.
Now, see, my story was a little bit different. Like, I'm still the owner of the Curtis R. Monday Insurance Agency. Insurance is still, my core business. Real estate for me, and my entry into the investment market just started out of, I guess, common sense. I mean, real estate was really booming pre-2008. Right. Everybody and their mother was in real estate investing. And so, I wasn't the guy who was into renovating and flipping. And we're going to talk about that term, flipping. I was more of a guy of a buy and hold. Mm-hmm. And so I got into real estate and real estate investing initially to buy property, to, get a couple of dollars here and there in respect to residual income. And when I say a couple of dollars, I vetted the deal and would just say if it could give me $500 or less, I was cool.
Right.
That was worth my time. Because for me, I was thinking about using that money for retirement. My game plan was that these properties will have 20 or 30-year mortgages.
Yep. By
the time that I'm retired, everything comes in, et cetera. So that was my foray. But again, you could have chosen any other thing. You didn't have to choose real estate. Why was it real estate? Why was real estate the obvious choice?
Well, for us, I think once we decided in 2009 that we wanted to do this, we realized that real estate just offers so many things for us. Before that, I was traveling all over the Midwest. I had an 18-month-old daughter, missing being, there with her. I just needed more time, more flexibility. And obviously the wealth that you can generate and the income you can generate from real estate just made sense. Some of the other things, like you said, we have been buying and holding as well, but we like the active and the passive side of that real estate offers you.
Yeah. I think as I got more into it, EJ, I want to say good morning to Patrice Barber, listening to us live on Facebook Live, and also Mabel Ben. Anyone has a real estate related question, call us in the studio at 312-374-8130. That's 312-374-8130. For African Americans, a ton of our wealth and our economic foundation was stolen from us via real estate, right? Through redlining,
right.
You had racist laws that wouldn't allow African Americans, just because of your race and geography and respect to where you live, in order to get financing for properties. You had individuals who had to enter in these. They still got land contracts to this day, but at that time it was totally bogus in the sense of the terms were unrealistic, and we just really were taken advantage of. And so, real estate again, for the power to the people part of me was a way to again help alleviate the landscape in respect to what's going on in our community. We said, when we sat down and we talked about, kind of doing this, we said create an inspirational blueprint for those interested in real estate. What does that mean?
Well, down through the years, I've been in this game 13, 14 years, and people come to me and come to Jason and they ask questions, and sometimes it's fear-based. You hear all the horror stories in real estate, and people generally have a desire to get into it, but you hear all the horror stories, all of the issues like redlining, that still goes on today. But I felt like through our experience that we can reach more people. I want to help change the landscape, not just in Chicago, but be an inspiration, sure. But I want to inspire people to act and get into the business. When
you say like inspirational blueprint, I'm the two words just aren't like happenstance. Inspiration, we want to motivate people to really, do this. And we'll talk about some of the roadblocks, but what's interesting about your story is that you guys basically looked at HGTV and said, hey, this makes sense. Let's go ahead and do it. I didn't sense a fear factor, right? A lot of times people get bogged down by fear. And so to be, inspired or to have some hope instilled in them makes sense. But the blueprint part, that blueprint, having a map on how to do this really, really helps alleviate some of the concerns for individuals who are trying to get into this real estate and investing game. So, I concur with you. Having the blueprint makes sense, and that's what we hope to do. We said the second thing, create generational wealth for our community. People say that all the time, EJ. What is that? What is that? When you hear that, what does that mean to you?
Well, obviously you have to start making money.
Yeah.
And then over time, money turns into wealth. But I think with the right blueprint, with the right tools, with the right mentors, you can learn from other people's experiences and then build upon that. I think it's important for us as African Americans to get involved in real estate. It just one factor. There's a quote that says 90% of all millionaires invest in real estate. At 90%, that's huge. Everybody needs a place to live.
Practical, makes sense,
right?
Yeah.
And they're not building anymore, making any more land, so we have to capitalize on what's already here.
Absolutely. And everybody, you listen to any kind of solicitation or marketing piece about anybody that's talking about anything entrepreneurially, it's always this tag in there, build generational wealth. And it's lowest common denominator. Paris Hilton. Mm-hmm. Paris Hilton, right?
Right.
Outside of the sex tape that Paris Hilton had, there's nothing phenomenal about Paris Hilton. She just happened to be, her last name
is Hilton,
right? And what does that mean? That means her ancestors before her made some moves and were able to create and build assets that passed down from generation to generation, and she inherited it. So when we talk about building generational wealth, we're trying to create assets or create things that doesn't just die off with you and Jason or me and myself, and it can be passed down to your kids and my kids, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, my daughter, she's in the business with us now.
Yeah,
and according to her, she's the third owner.
Yeah,
she grew up in this. She's 11 now, and as all she knows is us as being entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
All she knows is real estate. So at 11, I can trust her to go into any store and pick out tile, and pick out finishes. So, and she's seeing that. So whatever she decides to do in life, wherever she decides to go, in whatever industry she wants to be in, I feel good in the fact that if I go away and Jason goes away, she has properties, left for her.
And when you're still talking about using real estate as a tool to build generational wealth, real estate is one of the things that is going to appreciate. Markets have downturns. That's the same thing in financial markets. But even with real estate, it may not appreciate as fast as some of the times where there's a boom.
Right.
But you can rest assured that is going to appreciate. Just even by the very nature how the product or how the investment thing works.
Right.
Especially if you got rental property, person rents the property, you have a mortgage, they pay it down over time, you owe less on it. worth whatever is going to.
And the flip side of that is, guess what? Rent never goes down.
Nah.
Ever.
It goes up.
So over time, when you're paying, may have a tenant that's paying $1,000 a month. Well, in 5 years, the rental market may be yielding $1,300 a month.
Absolutely.
But guess what? Your mortgage on that building is going down. So you're constantly building equity, and your cash flow is increasing as well.
Building equity, writing off the mortgage interest on your taxes and things like that. Using that asset to leverage to be able to get lines of credit or loans to be able to buy more property. It's just a win-win situation.
Absolutely.
I want to say good morning to Patrick Brown. What's up, Pat Brown? And also Holly Robinson tuning in on Facebook Live. Call us live in the studio at 312-374-8130. That's 312-374-8130. Listen to She Flips, He Flips, EJ Williams, Curtis R. Monday. EJ, we said be a source of education. We want to provide resources. Why is that important?
Perish for the lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people get into this business with bad information.
Yeah.
There are some horror stories in real estate.
Yeah.
Everyone is not winning out here. But part of that is lack of information, lack of a blueprint. And I just personally want to be a part of sharing my experience and my education, even my failures, even the things that tripped us up over the years, so that that don't have to be your story too.
Here's the thing. Everyone may label themselves as a real estate expert. No one knows everything about. I've been in insurance for 15, 20 years, and I don't know everything about insurance. No one knows everything about real estate. So when we start talking about educating, it's not just EJ and myself lecturing to the listening audience. It's like what you said, sharing our experiences, sharing with not only our successes and strategies that has worked for us, but also our failures, but also seeking input, So we want to create a situation where individuals can not only receive what we have to offer, but, take in consideration some things that we don't know everything. There's so many different nuances.
I learn something new every day.
Yeah. But it's also, for me, important that when we talk about education, it's important that we teach individuals how to fish. I got this thing, we talk about haters. Like, it always, baffled me. Why does someone hate on somebody else?
Right.
Like, just metaphorically, if you had a candle, right, and I had a candle, just because your candle is lit and my candle is lit, it doesn't diminish the brightness of your candle or vice versa. In fact, both our candles lit together illuminates the whole entire room around us. And so this education that we're talking about, by teaching individuals what we've been able to learn through our successes and failures, helps make everybody better. Not just EJ and Curtis, but everybody better. You know what?
A few years ago, I was inspired to start the Ultimate Real Estate Blueprint because I would get all of these phone calls. Hey, can I pick your brain? Can I take you to, get some coffee? And over time, you're like, okay, people really out here need information, and they really want to just duplicate what your success is. So we built this platform to mentor people and to share our experience. And I had someone to say, why would you give somebody your blueprint?
Yeah.
Why are you giving someone your trade secrets? Yeah. I said, this is Chicago.
Yeah.
I can't flip every house in Chicago.
Impossible.
I can't own every piece of property in Chicago, but I would love to be a part of somebody else's success.
Yeah. As my man Ace Boogie said and Paid in Full, everybody eats.
Yes.
Everybody eats. You're listening to She Flips, He Flips from the Talk of Chicago. I'm Curtis R. Monday.
I'm EJ Williams.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into some more discussion. We're going to talk about some common roadblocks that stop people from being successful as real estate investors. Keep it locked here on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM WVON. Come back to She Flips, He Flips from Curtis R. Monday. Give us a call live in the studio at 312-374-8130. Coming up later on, we have our one of our preferred realtor. Our preferred referral partners, Ms. Nina Gonzalez, going to tell us how to get this money to do deals. We're going to talk a little bit about some common pitfalls in respect to what's stopping an individual from being successful in real estate investing. But right now, let's go to the phones. Jones, we got Maddie. Maddie has a question, a good person that manages buildings. Good morning, Maddie. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm so glad you had the subject on here. This is Maddie Morrison, and you are my favorite guy for insurance, and
Thank
my very personal guy for insurance.
Thank you.
But I'm glad you got the subject on of real estate because we need to know more about it.
Sure.
I had a building. I had it for 20 years, and I was managing it myself. It got to be so much for me that I end up selling the building. So do you have someone who you could suggest to manage real estate for those who do have real estate?
Sure.
Because I think that's very important when you're, in that position of having real estate. It gets to be a lot managing it yourself, but if someone else is managing it, it can take a lot of work out of it for you.
Sure. When we decided to do C Flips, He Flips, one of the things that EJ and I talked about was being able to create a list of resources for our listening audience, individuals who you can touch and trust that can help you with your various questions. We're in the process of looking for a property manager to be able to fit that building, so stay tuned. But I'm pretty sure through our collective experience, we probably got one or two tips that we can give you. So I would say this, Ms. Morrison, that when you start to vet and look at property managers, you do want to get an idea of how many clients that they currently have, right? And so what I mean by that, like I'm not really a fan of property managers who are just newbies in the business. Then on the flip hand, I'm not really a fan of property managers that have so many different clients that they're dealing with that they don't have the time to actually deal with my properties, right? So if you give me a call, we can talk off air. There's a ratio that I like to use to kind of give you an idea of how to use that as a guideline. But that's one tip I will offer up is that, again, you want to just kind of look to see who they're kind of managing right now. I'm not really a big fan of newbies because I want to see they got some experience because it's too pervasive. To the industry is always evolving and changing in terms of the rules and guidelines. And on the same token, I don't want to have someone that just is so busy that they don't have the time to deal with me. EJ, anything to add?
Really, I would say make sure they have all of their systems in place, find out how they screen tenants, how they evict tenants, how they're collecting the rent, and who's doing the maintenance of the property. You need to know all of those things. Sure.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Ms. Morrison. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
All right. Want to say good morning to on Facebook Live, Alfonso Frencham. She's on the GC side, doing great work out there, and also Nathan James Edmonds does so much work, wholesaler, plays the organ. Now he's going back to church to help the people with their salvation. So I appreciate you, brother. EJ.
Yes.
Pitfalls. Sometimes individuals don't like getting into this business because they're afraid of failure. And there are so many different pitfalls or roadblocks that stop people from being successful in real estate investing. Let's just kind of talk about a couple of them. Let's talk about some potential ways to help them. Also, before be remiss, let's go ahead and welcome our guest to the conversation. One of our preferred referral partners, Ms. Nina Gonzalez. Good morning to you, Nina.
Good morning. Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for your support and being a part of the conversation. All right, first pitfall, finding deals.
Yeah. Good deals.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, you can. There's a lot of garbage out there. So being able to find good deals, but a lot of individuals who want to start to get into real estate investing have a hard time finding deals. So again, as I think about this thing out loud, and this is right up your alley. I mean, one of the best places to find a deal is on the MLS.
Right.
I still think 80% of the properties that are sold within the market are still found on the MLS. So there's still a lot of good deals out there.
There's auctions. There's driving neighborhoods.
Yeah.
There's connecting with realtors who only represent investors and sellers.
Yeah.
You need to get your name out there if that's what you're looking to do. Everybody knows someone who owns some property.
Sure.
Just reaching out to your network, to your base, and let them know, hey, I'm interested in buying a multifamily. Hey, I'm looking for a property to flip. Somebody knows someone. You just have to get the word out there.
Now, just in case, there might be someone out there listening to us who are not familiar with these terms. Mm-hmm. So let's just make sure that we're covering the bases. When I say MLS, what is the MLS?
The multiple listing service. We call it in the real estate industry like the Bible.
Okay.
That's the system that realtors or licensed real estate brokers use to put homes on the market.
Okay. And again, probably the most common way that individuals who are looking for property get their feet wet and actually starting?
Correct.
Yeah. Still a lot of good deals. People think that as an investor that, there's a lot of good ways to find good deals, but I mean, there's a lot of still good deals. I found my last deal on the MLS. You know?
Right.
So still good deal. Another way to find projects.
Locally, the Cook County Land Bank.
Yeah.
I love the Land Bank.
Yeah.
You can usually acquire a property. What I like about them, they clear all the encumbrances and the liens. The properties are already cleaned out. You know, a lot of times I walk in properties that still have people's things in them.
Yeah.
And that's a $5,000, $6,000 clean out.
Yeah.
So if you're an investor and it's a property that you're looking to purchase and rehab and put back on the market, you know, a $6,000 line item towards your budget it's not a good thing.
So again, Cook County, largest county in Illinois, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Has a inventory of properties, anywhere from single-family homes to multi-units to commercial property, even the land.
Correct.
That they've acquired.
And you can be an investor, or you can be someone who wants to own or occupy.
Yeah.
The Land Bank serves both of those buyers.
No credit requirements. No revenue requirements with respect to your business. You know, so short application process, but that's another way. Other investors. You can find deals through other investors.
Correct.
In this business, I'm finding EJ and Nina networking. Like, Nina, you can't do what you do in terms of getting people money without someone coming to you, without someone saying, hey, you know what, go talk to Nina Gonzalez because she can help you with.
I wanted to point out a lot of the people sometimes when you create your reputation for being that person that can actually quickly turn around and purchase a property, that's who you go to. You go to an EJ. You go to your local real estate agent who you know has the capital. For example, somebody who might be in foreclosure or a recent tragedy going on with their life. If she's already, or EJ or the investor has already put that out there, like, I'm looking for properties. If you know who's somebody who's going through something, relocation, divorce, these life circumstances, that's also a way, you know, that you can acquire properties.
Yeah. So what you said earlier, EJ, you can't, as an investor, you can't flip every single property.
Right.
So you make relationships with other investors. You tell other investors, hey, you know what, I got something that's kind of that I'm looking for. If you find, you know, anything that fits my criteria, you know, give me a holler, you know, and whether you
I
work
get those
out,
calls all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Jason gets those calls all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It just helps. You mentioned something great about people that, Nina, you said people going through something, right? Like a divorce or a death. Well, where do you find that? Attorneys, right?
Yes.
Like attorneys who are doing things like estate planning and things of that nature, right? Attorneys are a great reservoir of information in respect to finding new deals because they have those people.
Also, housing agencies. There's a lot of local HUD housing agencies. I get some phone calls, a lot of phone calls from them trying to get people to save their homes. Sometimes I'll just refer that out. Like, no, let's just, at this point, walking away with dignity is listing that home and selling that home.
Yeah.
So they get a lot of distressed situations, not necessarily distressed properties.
Now, one of my great referral sources for finding properties, you're not going to believe this, as an insurance agent, we have times that people's basement floods, right? Basement flood, you got mold, right? You need some kind of mold remediation or water remediation people. Well, my mold water remediation guy goes to properties and tells me, hey, someone wants to sell their property. Like the last deal we were looking at in Madison, EJ, that came from my mold guy. Couple going through something in the sense that they were retiring. They want to move and relocate to another state. They don't want anything from their property. Just want to pay off what they owe and want to get rid of it really quickly. Said that to the mold remediation guy, and he goes, I know someone who's an investor who looks at, gave me that referral, and there you go.
Those are some golden nuggets. So you're telling me that the people that service your clients, your trades, we can actually train our network of tradespeople, plumbers, electricians, mold, pest guys, right?
Yeah.
Your how about your snow removal guys?
Although, I mean, anybody that can be an advocate, a voice for you. And what I did with the guy, I gave him a little something for the referral. Keep him coming. You know what I'm saying? Here you go. Keep him coming, because that was, I mean, you're talking about something that, you know, probably when it's all said and done, you know, $70,000 in equity. You know what I mean? So that's a good one. Driving for dollars. You kind of said that, but what's driving for dollars, EJ? Tell our listening audience.
Just canvassing neighborhoods, looking at the board ups.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Because someone owns that property.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they don't want it.
So
or they're trying to find an exit, you know, strategy for that property. That's one of the big ways that I look at properties.
So I'm driving. I see the board up. I see the address, 123 Main Street. What do I do?
Well, you have to look it up to see who owns it. and usually you can send them a letter. You can contact them that way. Hey, I'm looking to, purchase. Are you looking to sell this property? Let me take it off your hands.
Yep. You can look up 123 Main Street. You can go out to the Cook County Treasurer's website. Right, put the address in with the PIN number. You can get the PIN number from the assessor's
office.
Right, get the PIN number. Go to the treasurer's office. You can find who actually owns the property, or who, at least on paper, who they say own it. Send him or her a letter and kind of follow up that way. Or you do what I do. I call EJ. EJ, I saw this property, 123 Main Street. EJ, find out who owns this property, and EJ calls me back with some intel that tells me what's going on. Here's another marketing tip, which people see all the time. Bandit signs. Right. How many times you pulled up on the corner, 87th and, whatever, or the Dan Ryan, and you see, we buy ugly houses. Right. Right. We buy ugly houses. We buy houses cash now. I mean, it's a surefire way to get, some opportunities. So finding a deal, again, there's a way to overcome that. Not having buyers is another pitfall, another roadblock that people have. So I got this property. I renovated it. I got it ready to go. Now I want to sell it. I bought it at a discounted rate. I put my TLC. EJ came out and designed it for me. Now I'm ready to go. And lo and behold, it's sitting there. I got the inventory is bad on that side of the transaction. So thoughts. How does a potential person in this industry avoid that roadblock of having too much inventory and nobody to sell the property to?
Well, you should hire a realtor. And obviously, I'm biased because I'm a licensed real estate broker, but you need a professional to sell your properties. I never advise people for sale by owner, especially if that's not your niche.
What you do, right?
Yeah.
Again, with the realtor aspect of it, open houses. You guys do a great job of open houses and marketing to your database.
Social media is free.
There you go.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Social media is
Put
big.
it out there.
Yeah. You can even, as you and I do often, when we're in the middle of a project, in the middle of a renovation, we actually post our videos and things of that nature
beforehand,
so people can get a chance to see what it is you're actually doing, and that becomes like your marketing your marketing piece also.
Build up the anticipation before it hits the market.
Yeah, and then the other thing too, in terms of finding buyers, you go back to this thing we said, like you don't do this business in the island. You talk to people, you talk to the lenders, you talk to the real estate, other investors, and so you talk to other investors, right? And you let them know, hey, you know what, I got this project, I got this property. Sometimes individuals are looking, other investors may want a turnkey property, right, that they just want to have already fixed up, and if the price is right, they'll go ahead and do it. You're listening to She Flips, He Flips with Curtis R. Monday and EJ Williams. Call us at 312-374-8130. EJ, another one, and Nina, another thing that stops individuals from being successful in this business. I call this one operational issues or lack of systems. What is that? Nina, in your business, you got systems. What is a system?
A system is where you do the same thing over and over again. So you replicate the task that will get you to the finish line.
Sure.
So when you get that phone call, when you get that appointment, when you get that opportunity, you already know what you're doing, right, EJ? So if I call EJ about an opportunity, she doesn't have to fumble or figure out what to do. She very easily says, send me the address. I'm going to look at some comps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as well, that's what needs to be done, ensuring that you put a systematic practice in place that you always, it's repetitive, so it becomes a habit, and you don't deviate from that.
Sure. EJ, systems. Why are systems important in being successful in real estate investing?
You have to have your tools in place because it's a lot of moving parts, a lot of different people that you have to engage to get to the finish line. So to your point, Nina, you have to be able to replicate that over and over again. Otherwise, the ball will get dropped. Right.
Now, you can be as robust as possible as you want to when it comes to these tools, but it doesn't really have to be that way. It doesn't have to be this big operations manual. It could be, but it doesn't have to be. It could just be as simple as using the same way to find a deal. Mm-hmm. How do you vet contractors and things of that nature? So we're going to get into one of the biggest roadblocks. I don't have the money. I got a deal, but now I don't have any money. I'm sure our guest, Nina Gonzalez, has a lot of information about that. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got some more great conversation. Welcome back to She Flips, He Flips. I'm Curtis R. Monday.
And I'm EJ Williams.
Absolutely. EJ, what can listeners contact you if they want to talk about real estate, get their real estate portfolio together?
You can call me at 773-340-9101. And you can also reach me at ej@buildingherlegacy.com.
Absolutely. You need assistance with your insurance or financial portfolio. Again, call my office at 708-647-1005. If you want to schedule some one-on-one strategic coaching with me, whether it's business coaching or real estate coaching, email me at curtis@mondayinvestmentgroup.com. That's curtis@mondayinvestmentgroup.com. I want to say good morning to our guest. She's one of our preferred referral partners, Miss Nina Gonzalez from Guarantee Rate Affinity. Good morning to you, Nina.
Good morning, everyone.
Absolutely. Nina, before we went on a break, and again, call me at 312-374-8130 with your questions. That's 312-374-8130 with your questions. We were talking about pitfalls, roadblocks to stop people from being successful in this business, and the biggest thing, where am I going to find the money?
Well, you can find it here, Nina Gonzalez.
Nina.
312-532-8009.
Absolutely.
That's one of the first things.
Let's start there.
But it's funny though, like, and this may sound like counterintuitive for individuals who are, I guess, I'm seasoned investors. You don't really think about the money. Like, there have been deals that I've done or got into that how I'm going to find the money is like the last of my concerns. I mean, it's a concern nevertheless, but it's kind of like, okay, the deal makes sense. You know, it makes sense, so I'll find.
Let's figure it out.
And that's an entrepreneurial thing.
That's so people evolve to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
When you get it, that's an evolvement of the game.
Yeah.
But let's not talk to the evolved this morning, if that's okay.
No, let's get to it. So Nina, let's throw it right there. Like, how can listeners get prepared when getting approved for real estate financing?
One of the biggest challenges that our markets have is people don't have their paperwork in order. They don't have their paperwork in order. In the last 2 weeks, I saw people who are duly qualified, but just because they don't have their stuff, I can't even issue them. They got money waiting for them. I got $200,000 just waiting to give them so they can go out and find a property. And my biggest challenge is I don't know where my W-2 is.
Right, so that's the paperwork.
It's having the paperwork in line, ensuring that you have those pieces together. So setting a system in place, I would encourage all the potential buyers that are listening right now and those who are streaming through iHeartRadio and listening through us through the Facebook Live channels. Get your documentation in order. Know where your tax returns are. Know where your W-2s are. And if you don't know what that is, we need to have a conversation, right?
Sure.
Get your bank statements in order. I cannot use screenshots from your Chase mobile app, okay?
Sure.
Make sure that you have... Oh,
you had that for real?
I have that for real. I have, I need pay stubs, right? We need to see actual pay. There will come a time when you are so great at investments that your bank could just cut you a check, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of people get direct deposit, so they just want to show me where that deposit hit on their bank account. I need actual pay stubs, and your human resource department. It's a law. They have to show you these things, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, no, they don't give it to us anymore. I'm like, call them. They'll be more than happy to provide you with that document. So it's ensuring that you have your source of income documented, your tax returns and W-2s available, and the actual bank statements and proper identification. Okay, I need to identify you as the person who is, in fact, applying to get this money.
Yeah.
Sometimes people say, well, I don't have my application. Okay, we'll do the initial screening process, but I'll get you 72 hours to get me these.
To get the documentation.
To get me this.
And I got to assume that I know that one of the benefits of working with, a team of individuals, if you and EJ are working together closely and EJ gets the candidate first, EJ can probably help, vet them and say, hey,
Correct.
You know what, you're going to need these things to help with the process and help it, be a little bit more manageable.
The best real estate agents do.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to do my work, but they're investing their time.
Yeah.
So an extra 2 minutes of a conversation is guaranteeing their commission and their money.
Sure.
So if they say, well, I've never filed taxes. Oh, okay. Well, we might have to go a different
Right.
route, but still here, let's contact Nina. Or
Absolutely.
some It's just a way to securitize your investment in that conversation, and you want an end result. Because although we do want to give a wealth of knowledge, but we also want to see our people acquire, right? We want to see our people winning. Yeah. So if we need them to move.
Sure.
We need them to move.
EJ, got a question for Nina?
So what are some of the simple qualifications people need to acquire a pre-approval?
1 month pay stubs, 2 years tax returns, or just W-2s, 2 months bank statements, and an identification. Mm-hmm. If you're self-employed, then we do need to see those tax returns.
How does those qualifications change if you're a person is looking to buy their own primary residence or an investment property?
A lot of times, different lenders, well, they might, if you go through the standard financing, like a standard banking and financing through mortgages, which we consider like conventional, you will always use those documents. There are specialty programs that only utilize the cash flow of the property itself in order to get you qualified. But those require a larger down payment and a higher credit score.
Sure. And what type of credit score do you need?
For something like that, you want to be above 700 and above, because they're actually only looking at the property itself, the cash flow that the property will bring, the after repair value that the property will have, the equity take that you will have, what your win is on that investment. So you're still required to put a chunk on your own. These are standard. There are other non-standard ways of acquiring financing, but we want to stick to what's easily and readily available to the masses.
Nina, talk to us about debt. You know, my first question to you, debt. How does debt impact a person's purchasing power, and what is purchasing power?
Well, the purchasing power is the amount of money that is calculated based on your income and the debt that's reporting on your credit. What is left over to be able to manage and successfully pay a monthly mortgage payment?
Sure.
All right. So that's what purchasing power is. So if we have a lot of income, but also a lot of debt, your purchasing power could be reflective to somebody who makes less money than you. Right? So one of the biggest challenges that we've encountered is having people who are not sure about or don't know the impact that student loans have on your purchasing power, and very expensive car notes.
Yes.
Those are the two things that actually a lot of my potential buyers either have to work on, put a hold on, or I'll get my people, to refinance that car note so we can get them. So I'll look at ways to get people approved. So student loans do impact your purchasing power even when they're not in repayment.
Wow. EJ, it's always this age-old topic about using your own money for a deal, or what they call leverage, getting financing. And you can get in debates. I know for me, when I first started as an investor, I thought cash is king, and I still believe that. But I was under the impression I buy a piece of property, pay for it cash. I don't have the burden of a mortgage, worrying about the tenants paying their rent on time. I don't have any of that, right? And I get pure profit. But, there are always individuals who don't want to do that. Again, for individuals who listen to us, what's your philosophy on that? Leverage or cash? What do you think?
It depends on what. I think it's up to the individual investor.
Sure.
I personally like using OPP.
Other people's money.
OPM. Other people's money.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to leverage and acquire real estate. Because
Sure.
you're not so stretched. Use your capital for other things.
Sure. And I concur that I think cash is still king. Use your cash to do other things. But being able to use another entity's money to get something done, makes perfect sense. And Nina got all that bread for y'all. Just call Nina.
She got the coins.
Yes.
Yeah, call Nina to be able to get that money. We're getting ready to close up after our first show. Nina, I want you to let our listener audience give them some marching orders. What do they need to do to get financing, and give them your information?
Understand your credit and make sure that you're working on it. Ensure that anything that is bad that you actually have, or anything that's challenging on your credit, that you have the professional assessment on how to get everything rectified. Don't just go off of what the internet says, because there are timely solutions that can actually navigate through any kind of credit challenges. Ensure that you have all of your paperwork in order, right? Make sure that you have that in place, and then give yourself a timeline on when realistically you're looking to do this. It's also savings is something that's important to me, because even if we can get somebody into a property with the lowest out-of-pocket cost, you still have some things you have to take care of. You know, there's inspections and preparation, and also everybody wants to buy that big TV, but don't put it on credit. Like, actually prepare yourself, budget, and all of that can be done, and we can actually talk about that through our pre-approval consultation. So we won't let you navigate through that by yourself.
Sure. And where can our listener audience find you, Nina?
They can find me at all my social media platforms. I'm Loans by Nina on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn as well. My cell phone is 312-532-8009.
Absolutely. Nina Gonzalez is one of our preferred referral partners here.
She's
She flips
awesome.
off the chain. And she'll be around so you can catch her. EJ, great maiden voyage for us. Give our listening audience an idea where they can find you.
Again, you can call me the old-fashioned way. Pick up the phone, 773-340-9101. And you can also email me at ej@buildingherlegacy.com.
Absolutely. Want to salute EJ because today is a very pivotal day in her life. It marks 10 years as her taking the step to becoming an entrepreneur. 10 years.
Yes.
So just everything lined up in terms of God's divine order that on the 10th year of her anniversary of taking this entrepreneurial plunge, she debuts a show dealing with her passion. So hats off to you, EJ.
Thank you.
Looking
Thank
for
you.
100 years more of you doing your
Yes.
thing. And so, again, Miranda Booker, we appreciate you. Miranda Booker says the information shared has been helpful. Great first show. We thank you, Miranda.
Thank you.
Also, Castoria King, good morning to you. My man, Ramo Bay, I Flip Chicago, one of our partners out there doing this thing. We appreciate you, brother. And Joyce, I'm Curtis R. Monday. You can reach me to get your insurance and financial portfolio together at 708-647-1005. If you want to sit down and talk one-on-one and you're looking for coaching regarding strategy sessions on your business or even real estate, email me, curtis@mondayinvestmentgroup.com. We got to go. It's been real. See you next week. God bless.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.